let's change this image. Let's try the new art piece. This is the new art piece. Wow, an improvement. Isn't it nice? It was going to be an eye, and it was going to be a scary eye, but for now, it's a no-no, unfortunately. Text needs to be changed while everything is loading up. Sure. Okay, looks like we're in. So let's switch scenes to Fortnite. And of course, transform, stretch to screen. Now we go for which was on 0 build. Looks like we're at 6K. We should be able to get a match. Now while that's going on, let's look at this test. What's left? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 assignments for week 4. It's already almost 1.
Composition of functions. A composition of functions occurs when a function is evaluated for a given value, and then a second function, which could also be the same function again, is evaluated for a value found by the first function. Composition is denoted by a small circle, which is read as composed with, but is also sometimes read as the word of. The composition of the functions f and g is written as f circle g, and is read as f composed with g, or simply f of g. Let f be the function defined by the formula 2 times x minus 3, and g be the function defined as 4x plus 1. Find the value of g of 5 and apply its result to f of x. To find g of 5, replace the variable x with a value of 5 and simplify. The result will be 21. Next, we want to evaluate the function f with a value of 21, which was the value we just found. After replacing the value of x in function f with a 21, the result is 39. Note in that last step, the input for function f is 21, which was the result of g of 5. So the value of 21 can be replaced with g of 5, and the function would be read as f of g of 5. Using composition notation, f of g of 5 represents the composition of f with g evaluated at 5.
Dear God. I need a minute. Let's open up some GAMP while we're waiting. Okay, with that in case. Let's do some pixel art. No. The 64 by 64. Because that's our pixel art size. Just our average. So I'm gonna pop. Oh, hold on. No, we're gonna pop and then pop and then pop and then go pop. Come here. We don't want to brush. We want the pixel. And then we want the size to, of course, be 1. Now we just pulling down, see, Control Z, realize the opacity is lower, that's why it's doing that. Okay. Minus. Why is it doing that? Why is it doing that? It shouldn't be like that. 5? Why is there an outline? Hold on. I don't know what's going on here. Ready. Oh. Let's go back to this. Force. Spacing. What is this? I don't want to change that. Maybe I should look up a guide on here. Hold on. Where the? I think I know why. Because it's not on pencil. Oh! Let me change it. Here it is. Pencil. There it is. That's why. We'll come back to that. So we're going to call that's all we care about. It's just a we'll hit elite. Actually, we'll hit champion. And now Fortnite. Let's just stay do the mark checklist. Anime, check. Practice, check. Traffic's not done. YouTube art, we're actually working on that. We count that as done, so check. Is this done? It's not done, but it's done. That's number 9. It's not done. Number 11's not done. Control social media to guild server. That's not done. Smoke break is done. So of the 14, 3 are not done, basically. That's a good run though. See, over 70%. There's extra, there's more than 14, so say 70%. Rough estimate. this hot. I appreciate whoever died. Oh, that's gonna go out soon. Take that. Oh my god, what is that? God damn, bro. Help me. Help me. You're right in front of me. Damn. He abandoned us. He abandoned us. Such a fuck. You little fucking shit. Lago, you're a fucking rat. I hope you die. I hope you die painfully and embarrassingly. Unfucking believable.
なんか面白そうだから話聞いてもいいかなって感じだけど、当然逃げないよね。
カッツォにまで念押しされたら逃げるわけにもいかないな。だが今はそれよりもだ。
ごちそうさまですわ。
待たせたなエムル。本格的にユニークシナリオを始めるぞ。
ようやくですわ。やんややんやですわ。
でどうすればいいんだ。あのバッシュ、もといウサギの大親分は態度だのなんだの言ってたけど。
ではでは、私らが実践的な戦闘訓練に使っている闘技場にご案内しますですわ。
闘技場？
The Vorpal Coliseum.
ボーパルコロッセオですわ。
結構広いな。
お父さん、でも頭は三楽さんにここで10体のモンスターと戦えと言っていますわ。
オーケー、勝ち抜きで次々戦っていけばいいわけだ。
あ、ちなみにボーパル武器以外は使っちゃダメですわ。
およ、よし、めきめき鍛えてレベル上げて二度とペンシルゴンにでかい面させないようにしてやる。いいぜ。
Somehow we went up in Lingo. Apparently we got eliminated by what is that? That's not champion, that's above champion. What's above champion? Masters? Of course. They're putting me in high ranked games. Oh man. Oh well. Let's go play some reload. We're not done with ranked. We don't want to practice yet. We're not ready for that.
1体目を出してくれ。
はいな。では行きますですわ。
1回のチャレンジで10体抜きできるとは最初から考えていない。トライアンドエラーでモンスターの行動パターンを覚えて確実に。
実践的訓練1体目、マジョリティハウンド。必ず5体以上で出現。平均レベル65。
なんか強ない？待て待て待て、レベル65が複数体いるんですけど。
そういう1体目のモンスターですから当たり前なのですわ。
せめて言え。
Oh.
水留くんとお話ししちゃった。
悪いね。
What a sub.
今度会った時思い切ってフレンド申請してみようかな。オーケーしてくれるかな。
フレンド申請？もちろん OK さ。サイカゼロ、この間は助けてくれてサンキューな。毎朝一緒に学校行こうぜ。
なんてでもあの後サードエアに入った水留くん。
Uh-oh, we got locked in. Oh my god, where's my team? I came over to help. Where's my team? I came over to help. Again, man. Fuck. I forget. I forget my teammates are always like this. Every time, bro. Every time. And then it ruins my run. This idiot is literally right next door to me. I'm helping him out. He kills himself playing an obby, and the other teammate dies, throwing the match, winning the match, throwing my game as well. Not to mention the teammate that abandoned the match before this all happened. This kid's giving me brain aneurysms. Jesus Christ. I hope you fucking find a bridge all through. I can't be more irritated.
In general, if a value is provided, the function that appears on the right-hand side is the one that has to be evaluated first with the value provided. In the example, f of g of 5 means to evaluate g at 5, then evaluate f with the result of g of 5, which was 21. Here we have functions f is 2 times x minus 3, and function g is 4 times x plus 1. Find the composition of g of f of 5. The composition of g of f of 5 can be represented in either of these two formats, which are both read as g of f of 5. To evaluate this composition, first we need to evaluate f of 5, and keep the result inside the parentheses that corresponds as input for g. F of 5 means to evaluate the function f with an input of 5, which gives a result of 7. Next we evaluate g with an input of 7, and the result is 29. Using the same component functions, f.
I'll go back to that. Let's see where build it is. Take your time.
G. The composition of f of g of 5 is 39, and the result of g of f of 5 is 29. Changing the order of functions in a composition usually leads to different results. If no value is provided, then the result of a composition of functions is another function. This function can sometimes be given as a formula. To find this formula, replace all instances of x in the function with the contents of the formula. In this example, we're trying to find a function for the composition of functions f of g of x, where f is 2x minus 3, and g is
This is
4x
why you
plus
never
1.
try in ranked.
Since there is
Don't
no values
try.
input to the function, the result
Because every time
should
you
be a
try, you realize
Find the
everybody
formula,
else is
start by writing the function on
dumb.
the left-hand side, which is
Then
f
you're
of x.
focusing on it. Don't try.
Next, replace each instance of
Stupid
x
thing.
in f with g of x. Left-hand side, f of x becomes f of g of x. On the right side, replace the variable x with the formula for g, which is 4x plus 1. After making this replacement, 2x minus 3 becomes 2 times quantity 4x plus 1 minus 3. Using the distributive property to multiply 2 times the quantity 4x plus 1, we get 8x plus 2. Simplifying further, we get 8x minus 1.
I've seen this before.
Since the result of a function on the right side of the composition must be used in the function on the left side, this
Right.
composition function can only be found if the range of the function on the right side is equal to the function on the left side. For example, the composition of f of g of x has a result if the range of g is equal to the domain of f. The domain of a composition is the domain of the function that appears on the right-hand side, since the
Domain
inputs
on
for
the
the composition are
right-hand side.
evaluated by this function first. The target of the composition of functions is the function on the furthest left side, since the outputs of the composition are the results found after using the function on the left-hand side. In this
Okay.
case, the domain of f of g is the domain of function g and the target of function f. An identity function is a function that maps elements to itself and and is denoted as I sub d, where d is the domain of the function.
I've never
For example,
heard
if
of
the domain is the set of real numbers, I sub r of 1 is 1, and I sub r of 3 is 3. For functions denoted as formula, the identity function is the function f of x is equal to x. If f is a function from x to y and has an inverse function from y to x, the composition of f and its inverse will be an identity function. The domain of this composition of functions and its inverse depends on the order of the composition. If the composition is f of f inverse, the function on the right-hand side is f inverse. So the domain of the composition is the domain of f inverse, which is y. Therefore, the composition of f inverse is equal to I sub y, because the input comes from y, and the output will be y. If you change the order and compose f inverse of f, since x is the domain of the first function, f, the function on the right-hand side is f, and its domain is x. And the inverse function maps y back to x. This means that the composition f inverse of f is the identity I sub x. In this example, x contains the elements 1, 2, and 3, and y contains the elements 7, 8, and 9. Let f be the function maps x to y, with order pairs 1, 7, 2, 9, and 3, 8.
Right.
The inverse
Makes
function
sense.
of f maps y back to x and has the order pairs 7, 1, 8, 3, and 9, 2. Here we'll find the composition f of f inverse and its domain. To find the composition f of f inverse, start by setting up the function on the right-hand side, which is f inverse. From the order pairs, 7 maps to 1, 8 maps to 3, and 9 maps to 2. After this function, we call the function f using the order pairs 1 maps to 7, 2 maps to 9, and 3 maps to 8. The result of the composition is represented by the arrows that simplify the path that goes from the elements in the first set to the elements in the last set. For example, 7 maps to 1 in the inverse, and then 1 maps to 7 in function f, so the end result is that 7 maps to 7 in the composition. Therefore, the order pairs in the composition are 7, 7, 8, 8, and 9, 9. Since each element is mapped to itself, the composition is an identity function. And since the elements in the function correspond to the elements in y, the domain of the composition f of f inverse is y, which is written as I sub y.
Okay, looks like we found a game. Yo. It's crazy how, even though I don't comprehend all of it, I get it. Like, I get the base. I get how I'm gonna be practicing with everything that I've been learning from discrete mathematics, and I'm gonna be fucking up a lot, but I'm an amateur developer, so I'm learning. But man, we need some review. The notes are actually really useful. Most of the time, I don't even look at them, and I really need to like some review. Composed with, of course, or of. F composed of G is written as F composed with G, of course, or simply it says F of G. Functions example, right. Right. Then that's how you get a G inside f of x.